Okay, so here is the beginning. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out a way how I can film without holding my phone with one hand. Okay, so as you can see, probably it's starting to get this funny eyebrow. So the technique is a simple backstitch. You put a bead on your needle, then you put it through your fabric, pull it out, and since the properties of this thread that I explained, it's difficult to tie a knot, but it doesn't tangle. I prefer to use a very long piece of thread, so I don't have to tie knots often, and since it doesn't tangle, it's not a problem. Okay, so then you come back 2 beads before, pull it out, and go through those 2 beads again. This is sticking. Okay, like this. You want to use a very thin needle for this. Okay, another bead. Put it in there. Pull it out. And here is a tricky part, because it's a very narrow, and you just barely can squeeze your bead in between those eyes. Also, of course, you want to make sure that you don't stick your needle into an eye from behind. You don't want to have any holes in the eyes. Okay. Looks like it's gone through. Yep. Another one. And this one doesn't want to turn. If you can see that. So you see it's it's kind of stands perpendicular to the previous one. So this one is across and this one is like this. So you can try and pull it more, but the space between the eyes is very small. So what you can do in this case is to bend your fabric a bit and then pull on the thread. Now what happens because of this is your fabric can't come back to being flat, because the eyes are too close together and there is a very small space between them, and the bead doesn't fit there, so you can't have it flat. It starts bulging out a bit, and in some projects it's a really bad thing and you want to avoid it, but in this case I actually like it. I kind of played on it, I think, because due to this effect you can make a 3D pendant without any additional shaping. So basically, if you continue doing this, squeezing beads in places where they can't go, you end up with naturally bulging shape. And I think it's a lot of fun. Okay, there we go. Go through. And yeah, sometimes it's really difficult to pick up that needle when it's parallel to the fabric and very flat on it. It's easier without the nails, but the nails are good for other things, so I have them. Okay, coming through. Nope, earlier. Yep, like this. And through. And lacy stiff stuff is really stiff, so it doesn't deform, but it does get these kind of folds. You see, I kind of pressed it too hard here, and now it has a folding line, which is not a problem at all, because the more you stitch, the more of those lines there are, and eventually the whole thing is one continuous folding line, and it just becomes a little softer because of that, but because of all the beads that are on it, it also becomes harder, so you shouldn't worry about it. Okay, turn a bit, because here is the beak. It's kind of a little thickening here, and then it ends in the sharp point.